So today we are going to start with electric motor. Electric motor. We know that when electricity flows through a conductor, when it is placed in a magnetic field, it experiences a force. That could be a better statement. Okay. So we know that when electricity flows in a conductor, when it is placed in a magnetic field, it experiences a force. Now, what do you think? Is that force necessary? And if yes, then in which scenarios it can be necessary? How can that force be useful when a conductor is placed in a magnetic field and when we pass electric current? How can that force, how can that deflection be useful? Or is it useful or not? You have seen the deflection yesterday in one of the activities. That was a force due to which the deflection was experienced. Now, is that force important whenever a current is passed through a conductor and then it is showing deflection? Where can you find those useful? So that is a very interesting discovery, and we can actually use it to make things move, like in case of fans, washing machine, the players, DVD and all these players, using electric movement to make something move. And where you seen it? You have seen it in the rotational motion of appliances, correct? In so many things, basically anything and everything that uses an electric motor, this force is very, very important. Let us see how an electric motor works. Basically, it is just an application of Fleming's left hand rule. Physics and science is very interesting that way. All these little things that scientists discover help make so many things that make our modern life easier and more comfortable. Let's see. Just remember that it is just an extension of Fleming's left hand rule. So this is how the internal structure of motor looks like. So what you see in a motor is a conductor. This is a conductor, okay? And that conductor is placed between two poles, two magnetic poles, north pole and south pole, okay? So a motor is a conductor that is placed between magnets and the current is passed through it. So you can see a battery, okay? You can see a cell over here. Then this is a coil, a conductor, which is also known as armature coil. This is a north pole, south pole. This C-shaped structure that you are seeing is also known as commutators or split rings. Both the names are okay. I mean, they mean the same thing. Split rings or commutators. Okay, the C-shaped structures that you are seeing, and the black cubical structures that you are seeing are also known as brushes. Okay, is the labeling clear? What is called? What all these parts are also known as? The conductor is also called as armature coil. These are the two poles of the magnet, north pole and south pole. Battery. Then the cubical black structures that you are seeing are called brushes, and the one that is C-shaped structure is called as commutator or split rings. Okay. What are those half rings at the end of the square coil? They are called as split rings or commutators. We will see their functions. First, you should know what all these are known as. You will see their purpose shortly. They can control axle also. In your textbook, there is an axle that is inside this, so that the rotation can be possible. But this diagram is also okay. There are some black cubes near the split ring commutators. They are called brushes. You will see their purpose soon. Okay. So, and when we start the current, just understand.
We have a current carrying square coil called armature placed between the north and south poles of a permanent or electromagnet. At the end of the coil are split ring commutator segments and brushes. In the most simple model, one single turn of the conductor is placed between two opposite poles. If we connect it to a battery, the current will start to flow. It will flow from the positive terminal to the negative terminal. Notice where the north and south pole are kept. On the right side of the coil, the current is going away from us. On the left side of the coil, the current is coming towards us. The magnetic field is from north to south.
Okay. So, did you understand the setup, everyone? what it comprises of, what electric motor comprises of. Okay. Now let's see what is happening to the forces in this situation. Magnetic field is from north to south. This we have seen in the first lecture. Okay, that outside the magnet, the flow of magnetic field line is from north to south, like this, the pink color one arrow. Electric current near south pole is always is away from us. How it is away from us? You can see this particular cell. The current will flow from positive to negative. Okay, the current will flow from positive to negative. This is how it will flow. When it will go to this point, it will move away from us when it is near to the south pole. It will go in this direction where the arrow, I am showing the arrow cursor, it will go in this direction. Okay, it's okay, we can switch the magnets. You can reverse the polarity of the magnet, not a problem. Only the rotation direction will change. Okay, this is how the current is flowing. Do you agree? Magnetic field is from north to south. Electric current is this direction, which is shown with orange color arrow. Yes, is this clear? Or any doubt? Okay. Now, what about the force? So when there is B, magnetic field, when there is current I, what can you say about the force? Use Fleming's left hand rule and find out the force. Use your left hand. Okay, left hand, use the acronym FBI. Your thumb will represent the force. Your forefinger will represent the magnetic field. So let your forefinger go in this direction, the pink color arrow. Let your forefinger go in this direction. Current straight forward. Okay. Then where is your thumb pointing? Is it pointing upward or is it pointing downwards? Do it. Yes, it is pointing upwards. Okay, so that means this side of the armature coil will be going upwards. Clear? Now we will see the other part. This is the rule that we have seen. Force will be upwards. And near the north pole of the magnet, since the current is moving in the opposite direction, force will be downward. You can perform this. See, over here we have seen the current is going like this, the orange color arrow. But when current will come like this and then it will come towards us like this. Okay, so the current will flow in this direction. You should remember the flow of current is always from negative to positive. In that way, you won't face any difficulty. Is there any change in the direction of magnetic field? Current direction is changed now when we are discussing this side of the armature coil, this one. But there is no change in the magnetic field. Now I have just placed south pole here, I have placed north pole of the magnet here. I have not interchanged them. So again the pink color will remain as it is. The pink color arrow direction will remain as it is. So now when you use your left hand thumb rule, the direction of the force will be downward. Okay. So the force on the left and down force on the right make the coil move. Let us see how. This is the direction of magnetic field. See, this is how it is moving. Just notice one fact over here, that whenever the coil is coming in this side, whichever part of the coil is coming this side, it is always experiencing an upward force. And whenever the part of the coil is coming this side, it is experiencing a downward force. And that is how the coil is rotating. I will show you again. Just see. Okay, so till this, any doubt? No? Okay. And you could figure it out with Fleming's left hand rule. So yes. Now from this side we have discussed it is upward, this side it is downward. But when the coil is perpendicular to the field, it will experience perpendicular to the magnetic. Yes, it will experience. That is a different scenario. We are going to look it ahead. What happens at 90 degree? That part is also there. Okay. So again, you can see the arrows, how it is over this part of the armature coil. Just see whichever side of the coil is coming this side, now the upward arrow is there. And it always happens in fan also, na, it always go in one direction, the rotation is always in one direction. It never happens ki in one turn the fan is going clockwise, then it thinks no I should go anti-clockwise, then it will go anti-clockwise, then again clockwise. Nahi, aisa nahi hota. If it is going clockwise, it will keep on going clockwise. Okay, so is that it? That's just half of the story. Let's understand the rest of the story. So now to understand the rest, we have to take a closer look at the split commutators, split rings or commutators, and the brushes. First, find them in the diagram that you can see. The two half circles are the split rings or commutators. They are attached to the ends of the square coil. This is your square coil. This is also known as, what is this coil also known as? Yes, what was the labeling that we have seen? That is known as armature coil. That end of the armature coil is connected to this C-shaped structure, which is also known as split ring or commutator. Okay, so they move with the square coil. Can you see the split rings are moving with the square coil, or are they stationary? They are moving, right? Then which part is stationary? Which part out of this whole diagram is stationary? You can't see them moving, they are just fixed. Correct, that are brushes. The coil is moving, the armature coil is moving, the split ring or the commutators are moving, but the brushes are intact, they are as it is. Let us see their function and look at the two black brushes. They are attached to the wires from the battery, so you can see this connection, they are attached to the battery. As you can see, the brushes don't move. When the coil is rotating, at one point it becomes totally vertical. Coming to your question, Purva, this is also one of the scenarios. When the coil is rotating, at one point it becomes vertical, 90 degree, that is perpendicular to the magnetic field line. So what happens, you can see the connections getting disconnected over here. Somewhere it is not shown that clearly, but the connection get disconnected. And this is when the circuit breaks. Look closely at the brushes and the split commutators. Okay, so in that case, what should happen? If the connection is not, if the circuit breaks, then what should happen? See, when the coil is rotating, it is perpendicular, right? This part is perpendicular to the magnetic field lines. You can see over here, one end of the coil is not connected, what you can say, at this particular point, the circuit breaks. They are not connected to these commutators and split rings. Okay, so if in this case the circuit breaks, then the motor should stop working, and if the motor stops working, then your fan should also stop working. It should not rotate, but that doesn't happen. Why so? Yes, it is already in motion. It is due to inertia of motion, its natural tendency. Okay, but since the coil was already in motion, the earlier speed helps it move all the way ahead and become horizontal again. This is due to inertia of motion, which is the virtual which is by virtue that the coil tries to attain the same state in which it was earlier. Okay, so even though the connections stop, still the coil retains that motion phenomena. It is due to inertia of motion. Inertia, you have studied it in 9th standard. This is the natural tendency of the body to keep continuing in the state of motion or to keep in rest in which it was earlier present, right? So is this the same as before? Now it is not like this. When it is horizontal, the connections are intact. The part of the coil that was near to the north pole is now near the south, and vice versa. Okay, explaining again this part. See, what happens is how the connection breaks. If you can see this split rings and commutators, there is a space over here. It is not a total circle. Can you see the space at the top and the bottom part? It is not a complete circle. So when it is going at 90 degree, what happens is this blank space touches the brushes, and therefore the connection stops, the circuit breaks. Okay, that is how the things go on, but the motor still starts operating due to inertia of motion. That is also due to the same fact, inertia of motion, for some time. Now what we have seen, if you remember, this side of the coil, when we were discussing, what was the direction of the force? This side of the coil, it was always, yes, upward, and this side of the coil was experiencing a downward force. But just imagine, this requires a lot of imagination. If there are no split rings and commutators, now so there are split rings and commutators, but if there are no split rings and there are no brushes, what will happen in that scenario? When the coil will rotate, let us give namings to the coil, A, B, C, D. Okay, A, B, C, D. While rotating, at any point the CD will come to this side. Suppose AB is this side. Okay, when it will rotate, AB will go to this side. Yes or no? Just imagine, try to imagine. AB coil is not going to remain over here permanently. It is rotating, right? So AB, when it is here, after rotating, this will go here and CD will come here. In case if you have not used commutator, if you have not used brushes, what will happen there? The direction of the force will change. I will just a minute. So basically, if this is a south pole, this is a north pole, okay, this is your coil, just a rough diagram. The case when we have not used any commutators and split rings, that time I am talking, we want this side the force should be upward, this side the force to be downward, so that the coil keeps on rotating in one direction. But when you have not used any of the commutators and brushes, what will happen? When this side of the coil, green side of the coil, okay, when it will come to this side, it will experience a downward force. You can check it by Fleming's left hand rule. It does happen. It will experience a downward force. Ideally, it should experience an upward force. But when this green side of the coil will come this side, it will experience a downward force. And this pink side, I am only drawing the colors just to make the things clear. When this part of the coil will come to this side, it will experience an upward force. You can check with Fleming's left hand rule. Is this what we want? Is this what we want? No, fan should, if it is rotating like this, it should go like this now. It should not happen ek bar clockwise, then anti-clockwise, not like this. So that is the role of commutators, that is the role of brushes. They reverse the polarity, they reverse the direction of the current, so that whichever part of the coil comes to this side, it always experiences an upward force. It will always experience an upward force. Whichever part of the coil will come to this side, it will always experience a downward force, maintaining that the rotation will only be on one side. That is the importance of brushes and commutators. Now, when you will not use split rings and commutator, what will happen? This side of the coil will move downward, this side of the coil will move upward. So it will complete only half of the journey. Half of the journey means the perpendicular part. Okay. Okay, so this is how the electric motor works, the whole working part and whole construction part, how it is made. Any doubt in this? This was the part that you have to understand. We'll go to the textbook. Now the things will become more clearer to you. Yes, so this is how it is in the textbook. A conducting material, Purva. It can be of any conducting material because it has to pass on the electricity, the current. Or usually what conductors are made up of. That will also do. Okay, so you can see in this diagram, there are two poles, north and south. See, working doesn't get hampered if you interchange the polarity. Only the thing is, the direction will change. In the PPT, you said ki ma'am, this side of the coil was experiencing upward force. CD part of the coil was experiencing downward force. Why did you say? Because you calculated using Fleming's left hand rules, north to south. This was the scenario in PPT. But now, since the polarity of the magnets are reversed, what will happen? Only the direction of force will change, right? Earlier it was upward, now it will be downward. Depending upon Fleming's left hand rule, there will be no hampered on the working part. If direction change hogi, only the direction will be changed. Okay, you can see the brushes, then these are the commutators. This is an axle, okay, so as to make free rotations possible, then the key and all these things. So please go through the text. Generally for 1 marks they ask what is the role of brushes, not brushes, what is the role of split rings and commutators. So I hope you would be able to answer that. The commercial motors use electromagnet in case of a permanent magnet, large number of turns of the conducting wire in the current carrying coil, and a soft iron core on which the coil is wound. These are the changes that are used in commercial motors. Why? Just to increase the efficiency. Okay, just to increase the efficiency, we use large number of turns so that the deflections are more. We have seen now how it affects the deflection if we increase the length, if we increase the current. That is why large number of turns. Then if you use soft iron core, so this part is also very very important. The soft iron core on which the coil is wound plus the coils is called an armature. This enhances the power of the motor. We are doing these changes just to increase the efficiency of the commercial motors. Okay, so that it can give you more faster rotations. So is this clear? Any doubt in question number 1, 2 and 3? Fleming's left hand rule, you have to just write the statement, stretch your left hand, then the thumb will represent force, things like that. Okay, don't draw diagram, it is not important. Then what is the principle of an electric motor? Yes, what is the principle of an electric motor? On which principle the motor works? Now you know everything how it works and all. So can you guess what is the principle? Though we have discussed in the starting also, where I asked you one question in today's class only. How is that rotation possible? How is the why is the armature coil rotating? Due to which factor? That is okay, magnetic effects of electric current. But why was the armature coil rotating? Due to which factor? Why was the rotation possible? That is what my question is. No, this is a coil, right? You said that this side of the coil will move upward, this side of the coil will move downward, and that is how it will rotate. How? Matlab, due to which factor? It is due to the forces. That is the principle of electric motor, that whenever we place a conductor, a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field, it experiences a force, and due to that force the coil keeps on rotating. That is why the first question which I asked in today's class was what we did yesterday. We did about the force that is experienced by a current carrying conductor. Okay, that was the case. Okay, principle is this only. What is the role of split ring in an electric motor? So we have discussed this. It reverses the current direction so that the motor keeps on rotating in one direction. If it is going in clockwise, let it go in clockwise direction. If it is going in anti-clockwise, let it go in anti-clockwise direction. So that is the role of split ring or commutators. Okay.
If you like our videos, do share them and subscribe to our channel. If you want awesome quizzes, write to us. Keep watching and keep learning with Walnut.